Right, folks, welcome to the Podman Community Cabal meeting. Today is Tuesday, March 3rd, 2026. We don't have a whole lot of topics on the agenda currently, so if you have a bunch of questions, that'd be great, or we can wrap it up quick and easily. And with that, the one topic that we have is Podman 5.8.1, and Matt Hean will be talking about that. So Matt, go ahead and take it away.
Sure. So right now we got 581 out, I believe, a week later than our original plan was, but it was still broadly speaking on time. And this is a relatively small release for us in that it is usually when we do a release, we will cut main and grab all the features, all the bug fixes, etc., etc. In this case, 5.8 is a derivative of 5.7 in the sense that we backported a lot of features and bugs, but it is still not main. Main has been switched over to Podman 6 development for a while. What I'm basically saying here is that we have a lot of confidence in 5.8, and it's probably going to stick around for a very long time, in that it's a long-term support release in RHEL and a bunch of other places. Uh, Meanwhile, we are full steam ahead on Podman 6, still targeting second week of May for that, and everything coming together there. That said, we are starting to plan for a 5.8.1, which will include further bug fixes. This is probably going to be the last release that we put out before Podman 6, so this will be the last thing between now and May. I don't really have a specific time frame on 5.8.1 other than to say before end of March. So sometime before end of March, you can expect a bug fix release, and we're going to try and get as much as we can in there to tide folks over until the next big release. Once 6 comes out, I would expect pace of development to pick up a bit upstream as well. We have a lot of people working on big features right now that are, once they're complete, hopefully we can get some folks working on smaller bugs and get some of those fixed as well. Yeah, I think that's about it. Any questions on this, or?
Yeah, is 6 going into RHEL 9 and or 10?
Just 10. So there's a bunch of deprecations that we made in RHEL 10. Like, I believe we deprecated, what was it, Secret V1, we deprecated CNI. A bunch of stuff in 10 that is already deprecated is going to be removed with Podman 6. We can't really put 6 into 9 because of that. There's a bunch of things that we would break compatibility on. So 5.8 is going to be presumably the last release that we will see on RHEL 9. We might do a 5.9 with some small feature backports and further bug fixes for 9.9 in RHEL, but I would not count on that. 5.8 being in the last thing that RHEL 9 sees is currently the plan.
Okay, thanks.
Right, any other comments or questions for Matt? Right, unless, how about just other comments or questions in general? Does anybody have anything? If not, we'll have one of the shortest meetings in history.
Should we discuss the AI policy?
Sure, that'd be a good topic. Matt, could I ask you to turn your video on when you're talking, please?
Sure. Sorry. Well, I guess I'll start off. So we recently merged. We've been dealing with an increased volume of AI-generated contributions to the Podman repository. In particular, AI, both pull requests and, I would say, security issues. Now, the security issues is of concern to us because we're getting a greatly increased volume versus what we normally would. And as these are potential security problems, they deserve full investigation and basically a greatly increased amount of our attention versus just plain pull requests. Uh, and a lot of what we're getting in right now is, as I think a lot of people in the open source community are feeling, things that are low effort, AI generated drive-bys effectively. And these are a strain on our limited resources. So we have been encouraged by this to write a policy on how AI generated contributions will be handled in Podman. And this merged as of yesterday, I want to say. Right now, it is only Podman and Scopio. Other projects are welcome to adopt it, or within our space, I would say, are welcome to adopt it. So we might see this expand to things like Builder and Containers Common as well. But yeah, generally speaking, I would say our expectation is that we have real humans spending time reviewing your code, and we would like that there were real humans on the other end who understand what's being submitted and are able to meaningfully answer questions and have conversations about what's going on. If not, we may have to start closing pull requests that are very difficult to interact with, I'll say. Anyone want to add to that, or?
Not add so much, but I did add a link in the chat to the page where it's at, and it's on the main page of Podman in GitHub.
Yeah, let me grab a link to it, but we just put it at the top level at GitHub. Here we go, LLM policy. And I will also say that this is not meant to be set in stone right now. So this is an evolving policy. If we encounter other things that we need, we may end up editing this. Basically, as AI evolves, we reserve the right to evolve this as well with it.
Thanks, Matt. Any further comments on that, or any other questions or comments in general? Hearing a lot of silence today. So I'll just quickly note when our next meetings are. Our next Cabal meeting will be on Tuesday, May 5th, 2026. Our next community meeting is coming up on April 7th, 2026. That's also a Tuesday. Both of those are at 11 a.m. And both will be in daylight savings time, as we're moving up to that this weekend in the US and then Europe following shortly thereafter. And with that, one last chance for questions, comments. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap this up. Oh, Jerry, can you talk about the Community Day in New York City?
KCD New York, I think. I have been thinking about submitting something, but I haven't gone ahead and done it yet. Mark, are we planning to put anything in on your side, or?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it came over on the video for folks, but Jerry was asking about Community Day in New York City and whether or not any of us were going to be going to that.
Yeah, I don't know. I was kind of focused on, the upcoming QCon and other things going on, but I'd be happy to gently submit something if we want to do that. We should show up anyway.
Does anybody have the dates for that offhand, just for the recording?
The next one, I don't know. I'm getting June 10th.
June 10th.
Yep, same place as last time. And the CFP closes March 17th, so we got 2 weeks.
And Matt, did you want to give an early plug for DevConf? I know that's coming up. Is that September?
So we've got 2 DevConfs coming in, although it's hard to it is hard to get into CZ at this point because it is unfortunately scheduled at the same time as a major sporting event, and a lot of the hotels are already booked. But for those interested, we should have some talks at DevConf CZ June 18th and 19th in Brno. And then we are definitely going to have a bunch of people at DevConf US in Boston on September 24th to the 25th.
Be here before we know it. And I know they just opened up talks input right now. So if you have a talk you'd like to submit, I'm sure they'd love to get a hold of it for the one in Boston in September anyway. I'm sure Brno is probably closed by now for talks, right, Matt?
Actually, no, I think it's end of this week. They
really?
extended
Okay.
it.
Okay. So have an opportunity there too.
Yeah, but look at the prices for Brno. Like, it's quite expensive if you even find a room.
Yeah. The old supply and demand policies going into effect there, huh?
Yeah, so check your travel budget, I guess.
All right. I'm not seeing anything else coming through on chat nor anybody else coming up. So I'm going to say thanks for attending, folks, and we will see you next time.
Thanks, Tom.
Bye-bye.
Nice talking to everyone. Bye.